So this first review of 2023, I had to make a little bit special. And to make up for some lost time and for this movie's 25th anniversary, this felt like a good place to start. Welcome back to my channel, guys, and thank you so much for your patience with me during this holiday season, but I am back and I am ready to roll with some new content. It is really exciting to be back here. If you're a new viewer, do consider becoming a subscriber and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss another second of the action talking all things cinema and entertainment. And hit that thumbs up as well because it's going to get really exciting over here. But let's talk today's topic. You guys saw the thumbnail, you guys see the title. Good Will Hunting, I would say, is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I didn't really watch this movie for the first time until I was around 18, 19 years old. And it's a movie that still touches me on so many levels emotionally. We, of course, follow young Will, played by Matt Damon, who has a genius-level IQ, but he chooses to work as a janitor at MIT. This is basically because he's filling the mold of what he expects his life to be, going out drinking with his friends, one of whom is played by Ben Affleck. But when he solves this difficult graduate-level math problem, his talents are discovered by Professor Gerald Lambeau, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and the arrogant professor decides to help this misguided youth reach his potential. But when Will is arrested for attacking a police officer in a very brutal scene, Professor Lambeau makes a deal to get leniency for him. That is, if he will get treatment from a therapist who is an old college roommate of his. That, of course, being Sean Maguire, who's played by the late great Robin Williams. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote this screenplay together as a starring vehicle for them. And there's a rumor floating around that those two fought over who got to play Will. But after being told no many times by many different studios, there were a bunch of directors attached to this project. Miramax finally got a hold of it. Matt Damon was given the starring vehicle here. And man, does he hit a home run. He has such a stubborn earnestness about him. He knows that this work is too freaking easy for him. And there's a little bit of cockiness in there. Not as much as Ben Affleck in this movie, who I actually find really freaking entertaining. He definitely comes off very much like a smartass, but he does have that hint of intelligence in there, where it's not like Einstein level or Will Hunting level in this case. But seeing these two real-life best friends play off of each other in this movie is just magic. They not only have excellent, earnest scenes together, like the one where Ben Affleck is basically telling him, listen, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket, buddy, and I am longing for the day when I knock at your door and you don't show up. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing here. And that's such a powerful scene, and that's what makes Good Will Hunting work so well for me. It's these smaller moments. It's the character moments. Because every character is completely justified in how they're feeling about the world and their places in life. And even though you don't necessarily agree with Will's reasoning for being stuck in South Boston, you really feel for this kid and you want him to pull through. Because not only do you have the earnestness, Good Will Hunting can be a very funny movie at times. Who can forget the scene in the bar when Will actually gets his girlfriend Skylar's number for the first time? Hey, do you like apples? Yeah? Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples? I still pull that quote on some of my friends to this very day. All these performances across the board are stellar. Damon and Affleck both wrote this screenplay, so you can tell they're going to be very passionate in this movie. Stellan Skarsgård is very often overlooked. This guy is such a slimeball talking about all of his accomplishments, and his best friend really does not give a damn about the medal that he has. But yet, you still really respect Professor Lambeau in this movie for wanting to help this kid out any way he can. Speaking of helping the kid out, man, oh my god, Robin Williams. Oh man. Robin Williams was known for being a funny man throughout his career, and may the man rest in peace. I miss that man still so much to this very day and everything he brought to entertainment. But everybody knew him as the guy with all the impressions in Good Morning Vietnam. Everybody knew him as the guy who was making all the pop culture references as the genie. He wasn't getting a whole lot of serious acting work until he saw the up-and-coming Damon and Affleck script. And for all intents and purposes, a star of Robin Williams saying yes to a project like this, man, is that a seal of approval. And this, in my opinion, is Robin Williams' greatest performance. He actually won an Oscar for this back in 1998, but he is just so damn real in Good Will Hunting. That Oscar was so well deserved. If you need any further proof about his performance, you need any further proof about his genius, Just go watch any of his scenes with Matt Damon, including the one at the end that really gets everybody busting into tears.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me, Sean. Not you. It's not your fault.
Repeatedly telling Will it's not your fault. You could pretty much tell any person who's struggling with any sort of anxiety, anything of that nature. Like, you could just watch that scene and just... Robin Williams knows how to make you feel better. He really had a way of bringing joy into your life and really had a way of bringing a smile onto everybody's face. That's why I miss that man so much, because he just brings so much warmth into this movie. And I really feel like it was desperately needed. There was a point where this script was actually written as somewhat of a psychological thriller. And believe it or not, there were actually some scarier elements in Good Will Hunting in an earlier draft. But studios were constantly telling Damon and Affleck, and directors for that matter, they were telling them, hey, why don't you just focus on the relationship between Will and the therapist? Damn, am I glad that the change was made. Because this is one of the greatest surrogate father-son relationships ever brought to the screen. Gus Van Sant was the director of this thing, and he helms this thing so brilliantly. There are so many clever long takes that really focus on the actors and the performance. I feel like I say this in a lot of reviews nowadays, but sometimes the key is simplicity, and Good Will Hunting works because it's so simple. Yes, a lot of people might knock this movie down a few points because of its predictable ending, where, spoiler alert, Matt Damon goes to see about a girl and he follows Skylar, played magnificently by Minnie Driver, by the way, lest I mention. But he follows his girlfriend all the way out to Stanford, just the same way that Robin Williams' character basically passed on World Series tickets just to go see about a girl in the bar. I'll be damned. He stole my line. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, I adore this movie to no end. If you guys have never seen Good Will Hunting, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you're someone who's feeling down about themselves, if you're someone like me who suffers from generalized anxiety, Good Will Hunting is a great film to go back to because it just knows how to tug at your heartstrings the right way. And it leaves you with an ending that just makes you feel so warm inside. Over 25 years to the day of its release, I love Good Will Hunting. I always have. I always will. I'm so happy that I was introduced to this movie when I was. And yeah, it's definitely later than I would have liked seeing this for the first time, but better late than never. I'm going to give Good Will Hunting an A+. Really not much more else that can be said about this movie that hasn't already. Let me know what you thought of Good Will Hunting down in the comments section below. Let me know what your experiences with this movie are. Is this your favorite Robin Williams performance? Is it your favorite Matt Damon performance? All fun topics that we can discuss all down there in the nifty comments section. Guys, like I said, these videos, making these for you guys, it's an absolute joy to me. I cannot wait to continue making this really, really fun content with you into the new year. So don't forget to become a subscriber because there's a lot that you definitely will not want to miss, including reviews for Megan, the new horror movie. You have A Man Called Otto, the new Tom Hanks starring vehicle. And I'm going to try and get out my review for Peter Pan to continue a Disney retrospective. That movie turned 70 this year, which is crazy to think about. And I got a lot more exciting content in the pipeline related to all new things in cinema and entertainment. Guys, y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.